to partner A. And I want you to use that word weighted. So something like, so Princess Hyacinth couldn't float away. They made sure that she was weighted down. Something like that. Okay, partner B, go ahead and use weighted and tell partner A about Princess Hyacinth. Okay. The next word that we're going to use is really two words. And let's see if they, okay, really two words. It's the palace grounds. And that's like her backyard. They call that the palace grounds. So like if this is the palace, I'm not even sure I can draw. Yes, this is the palace. The grounds are like back here, right? And there's trees back there, you know, that's like her backyard, right? But since she since she would float away, she wasn't allowed to go play outside in the palace grounds with the other kids, because that's how she meets Boy. He's out there. So partner A, you're going to explain to partner B and use those two words, palace grounds, and say Princess Hyacinth couldn't go and play outside in the palace grounds because she would float away. All right, partner A, go ahead and tell partner B about that part of the story and use those words, palace grounds.
Right, you're A.
Couldn't go to the grass outside because she will float away.
Okay, next word in our retelling of the story is dreadfully. So the author writes, after a while the children left the palace grounds. I'm terribly, horribly, dreadfully bored, said the princess. So for dreadfully, she's dreadfully bored, so she's not happy. So we'll just draw a picture of her face. Her hair looks something like this. There. That's pretty good for dreadfully. So since the princess couldn't play outside in the palace grounds, she was dreadfully bored. So partner B, can you explain that to partner A and use that word dreadfully? Go.
The princess was dreadfully very bored because she couldn't go to play with the other kids in the palace ground.
Okay, here's our next word. This is a great kind of synonym for walking. She was dragging along, because dragging is kind of goes along with weighted, like she was dragging along because she's weighted down by all of the jewels and the crown and everything. So the author writes, And then off she went, walking to the park. Well, she wasn't exactly walking, she was sort of dragging along. So we need a picture for dragging. Let's see. It's gonna really be similar to weighted. Let's see. She was dragging along. And when you're dragging, usually like you're weighted down like this, so she's dragging along. There's my picture for that. So you're gonna be able to go through this again tomorrow and draw your own pictures. So really similar to what she has on her big crown. It's got whatever stuff on it. There's her crown. Okay. So for this part of the story, the princess went dragging off to the park. So we are on A, B, A, B, A. Partner A. Can you explain that to partner B and use that word dragging? And use her name, Princess Hyacinth, when dragging along to the park. All right, go ahead.
Princess Hyacinth went dragging to the park. Weighted down.
Good job. I like how you used weighted down and dragging both together. Okay. So our next word is firmly. So the author writes, she saw a balloon man coming toward her. Suddenly, Princess Hyacinth had an exciting idea. Mr. Balloon Man, she said, I'd like to float up there with the balloons. That, said the balloon man, is impossible. No, it isn't, said Princess Hyacinth firmly. So when you say something firmly, it's like you're not playing. And so I think pointing is a good one for that. So if I said to you no it isn't, right? A lot of times when we do that, we point. So I'll make my picture for that. Let's see, that's like a thumb. I'll do a finger, that's a hand. I'll do a finger pointing, and I'll do this. Back and forth. All right, so partner B, you're going to explain to partner A that Princess Hyacinth told the balloon man firmly it is not impossible. So partner B, can you explain that to partner A? Princess Hyacinth firmly told the balloon man it is not impossible.
The man thought it wasn't impossible for her to go inside the meeting, but she did it anyway.
All right, tell me. Tell this camera. What you just told her.
Okay. So our next word is bobbed. Bobbed is another, can be another synonym for walked, but it means more like bounce from place to place. So if she's holding on to the balloons, she's probably bobbing with them because she has a whole batch of balloons in her hand. So you know in the story, he ends up giving her the balloons. So the balloon man walked through the park and Princess Hyacinth bobbed along with the balloons, right? So here she is up here. So he walked and she's up there floating, but kind of bouncing up in the air. So she bobbed along with the balloons. So the balloons are kind of like that, right? And he's got a lot of them. Right? So there are the balloons, and she is up here. and she's bobbing along. I'll do this. That's kind of like bouncing, right? So Princess Hyacinth bobbed along with the balloons. A, B, A, B, A, B, A. Okay, so partner A, can you explain that to partner B and use that word bobbed? So Princess Hyacinth bobbed along with the balloons.
Princess Hyacinth bobbed along with the balloon.
She bobbed along with the balloons. All right, so in the next part of the story, the balloon man goes and gets the king and the queen, and the king comes out with his binoculars so that he can see the princess, which there's actually not a picture of binoculars in here. I would, let's see. We may not have time, but in hindsight, I would probably pull up like a picture to show the students of what binoculars are. It's probably something they don't see every day. But binoculars are like these things. They look a little like, they're round and you look through them, like when you have glasses on, right? But they're like long tubes. So they kind of go like this. Like that, and they help you see, you hold them up and they help you see far, okay? So for this part of the story, the king comes out with his binoculars so that he can see the princess up in the sky. All right, so partner B, go ahead and explain that to partner A and use that word binoculars.
Because she won't fall.
Oh yeah, here we go. There is a picture of the binoculars here, back here. Here he is with his binoculars. Now, of course, that's a much better picture than mine, but you get the idea. They're like these long tube things that you can look through. And our last word at the end of the story, boy, right, is kind of the one that rescued her because he was flying his kite up in the sky, and that's how he rescued her, because she grabbed onto his kite. So we'll put a little picture of, here's boy down here, and he has his kite, and looks like this. And Princess Hyacinth grabs onto the kite. So we'll put her here. There we go. And she is finally happy. And this is boy. It's kind of short here. Okay. So at the end of the story, boy rescued her by having her grab onto his kite in the sky. So partner A, can you explain that, the end of the story, to partner B and use that word rescued?
She thought it was a problem on the kite. But the crown, and she got on, and she got saved, and boy fell down. Boy.
And make sure and use her name. Her name is Princess Hyacinth. His name is easy, right? Just boy. Okay, so that's perfect timing. That is like about 35, 40 minutes. So, what I would do for what day 2 would look like would be the students come over to the rug, you can reread the story, and they make their own grid on paper and practice, kind of the same way that we did, but now they have their own. That's what day 2 would look like, and then we can talk some more after school about what the rest of the week would look like.